top, case management. That's who is over the case management of the member. The next number is going to be the Bureau of Senior Services. That's to the state in case they have any questions. Your member or you can call yourself. They're going to be the name of your person and then the date. And then the last one is going to be the week, either 1 or 2. Your first little box is going to be the essential errands, and you includes the purpose, the destination, frequency, and the day of week. And they're allowed to go out 1 to 2 times a week, 300 miles a month, limit, after all the personal care is given and before any CA, which is your community activity. I have listed the shopping places that they're allowed to go, the pharmacy, the bank, and any bill pay or post office and DHHR. This is where the member has said that they usually go to do their weekly errands. The next place is going to be community activities, and it includes your purpose, destination, frequency, and the day of the week. Members are allowed to go out 1 to 2 times a week. The community is reasonable, close proximity to the person's home, and it's limited to 20 hours a month after all your personal care and essential errands, or your EE, is completed. Non-essential shopping, that's going to be anything that they can take back to the store, like if they bought shoes or if they bought clothing. It's just general browsing. That is a non-essential shopping trip, okay? Restaurants is if they go in to eat. That's not if they go out through the drive-through. The restaurants is if they go in somewhere to sit down to eat. Beauty and a barber shop, if they have any place listed. And a backup plan is generally going to be something in case the weather's bad, or like here, what do they want to do if they can't get outside to go anywhere? Visit family and friends. They can only do that in a public community building, event, or a festival that it has to be open to the public. You can't take your members to their homes to visit their grandchildren or their brothers or sisters, but you can meet them in a public place like at Geno's for lunch or the library. It has to be someplace open. Can't take them to church events or funerals or anything like that. The next is going to be other, and this is telling you that she's on oxygen at 2 liters at night, that you're to take the rolling trash can to the curb on Tuesdays at the end of your shift, and then return the rolling trash can to her apartment on Wednesday morning because she's not able to do that. And if there was any other special instructions for transportation, it says all errands, activities included but not limited to immediate area, providing closest and cost-effective shopping are approved by the RN, and that she uses a rollator. You can't, if it's not listed in either of those boxes, you have to call for an approval. You can't just, because the farm store is having a sale on dirt, they can't go and get that. It has to be listed. It has to be planned out place that they go to do their essential errands and their community activity. The next section, this is going to be the most important part, is going to tell you your date, start, and stop time. It's the time you left the home, the member's home, to go somewhere, and the time you returned. And my suggestion is the time you get in the car to back out. Look at your time, and you're going to want to put that. The first block is going to be the date, so it's going to be like the 22nd, whatever day you're working. You would put 22. And if you left to go to the grocery store at 11 o'clock, you would put 11 o'clock in the next block. And then in the next block, when you return back to her driveway, say at 12, so you're going to leave at 11, and you're going to return back to her home at 12. Okay, and then you're going to put the total miles traveled. If you went 10 miles, you would put 10. And then how much time did you spend driving? If you went 10 miles, it's going to take you roughly 10-15 minutes, depends on the traffic or where you're at. So you would put 15 minutes. The next place is going to be where you went and what was the purpose. You have to list the town. So if you went to Family Dollar, it would be Family Dollar in Clay for groceries. So you have to list the destination and the purpose of your travel. The next block is going to be how long did you spend in Family Dollar. So if you spent another 15 minutes. Now community activity, that is if you all was going to bingo or the restaurant, but you're just going to the grocery store, which is an essential errand, so you're going to skip that. Was the person with you? Yes, they was with you on this trip, but they do not have to be with you for essential errands. They can send you to the grocery store. Then your member, which Very is, she's going to initial, and that's saying that that's where she sent you, and that's what you did. Okay, so they initial after that. Now your total time, your 11 to 12, is an hour that you was gone, and you spent 15 minutes driving, and you spent 15 minutes in the grocery store. So let's change this to, it's 45 minutes that you was in the grocery store. So we're going to put 45 minutes there because you was gone an hour. So your driving time and your essential time has to equal how long you was out of your home. All right. The next block is the nurses section, is where she's going to document anything that was abnormal or pre-approved. The next place is going to be where Very is going to sign at the end of her 2 weeks. Then you have to print your name and then your signature and the date that you're turning in your paperwork, which is usually at the end of the 2 weeks. Your next section is you're going to have a date that you worked, which would be the 22nd. And she has to have a wellness scale. This is something that the federal government has recommended on everybody's worksheet. It's not a pain scale, but it's a wellness scale of 1 to 10, 1 being poor and 10 being great. And I usually say do that at the end of your shift. They just have to give you a number. It can be 7. And I have to have a number there, so that's something that you have to have done, okay? But usually I tell them to do it at the end of the day, because if they go in and they have just got up and they haven't got their medicine yet and they're hurting, you're not going to get a true scale. But at the end of the day, you're going to know that 7, that they felt pretty good. So I just need a score. And then if you did something that wasn't on your task list, or if you did something extra on your task list, this is the place you document it. And that's how you would complete a worksheet.